On August 16, 1896, gold was found on Bonanza Creek in the Klondike region of the Yukon. The moment was small at first, a creek, gravel, a pan, and a claim. But it became one of the most famous rushes in modern history because it joined real mineral wealth to rumor, newspapers, steamship routes, indigenous knowledge, Canadian law, and the dreams of people who believed a hard northern journey could change their lives. The discovery is often remembered as a frontier adventure. The fuller story is more complicated. It was a discovery, a legal scramble, a migration, a business opportunity, and a disruption of indigenous homelands at the same time. The discovery party included Skookum Jim Mason, Dawson Charlie, Kate Carmack in the wider household story, and George Carmack, whose claim registration helped put the strike into official form. Northern indigenous knowledge mattered before the outside world knew the word Klondike. Tagish, Hen, Tlingit, and other peoples understood roots, seasons, rivers, food sources, and survival in ways newcomers depended on but rarely credited fairly. Once gold appeared in the creek gravel, names and paperwork began turning lived territory into claims, boundaries, and disputes. Bonanza Creek and El Dorado Creek were not just scenery. They became places where law, labor, and sudden hope collided. News did not instantly reach the world. Winter and distance slowed the story. Nearby miners reacted first, staking claims and spreading along creeks before newspapers in Seattle or San Francisco could turn the discovery into a sensation. The public explosion came in July 1897 when ships arrived on the Pacific coast carrying miners and gold. Reporters saw dust, nuggets, and exhausted men, and the image of sudden northern wealth raced ahead of practical truth. By then, many of the best claims were already taken. The rush that followed was therefore partly a race toward opportunity and partly a race toward an illusion. Still, thousands prepared to go. They bought outfits, food, tents, stoves, blankets, shovels, pans, axes, rope, boots, and animals. Canadian authorities required large supplies because the North could kill the unprepared. That rule made the journey heavier. At Dyer and Skagway, freight piled up beside mud, tides, boats, saloons, confidence men, merchants, and mountain trails. The Chilkoot Pass became the rush's most enduring image. Long lines of stampeders climbing the so-called Golden Stairs, carrying load after load toward the summit. The White Pass route offered another path, but it too punished people and animals. Before anyone reached Gold Country, the rush had already become a test of money, endurance, and judgment. At Lake Bennett and other interior camps, stampeders built boats and waited for the spring breakup. Then they moved down lakes and rivers toward Dawson. Some arrived too late, some arrived with little money left, some found work, opened businesses, or turned back. Dawson City grew into a boomtown of tents, cabins, stores, saloons, mud, prices, illness, performance, law enforcement, gambling, and news. The Northwest Mounted Police tried to regulate crossings and claims because the Canadian government wanted order and sovereignty as well as revenue. The rush was never simply chaos, it was chaos pressed into rules. Mining itself was slow, cold labor. Placer gold had to be separated from gravel by pans, rockers, sluice boxes, water, timber, and muscle. Frozen ground had to be thawed by fire or steam before it could be dug. Men and women worked, cooked, carried, sold, wrote, performed, nursed, negotiated, and survived. Women were not only background figures, some prospected, ran businesses, wrote accounts, entertained crowds, and endured the journey. Meanwhile, indigenous communities faced trespass, resource pressure, disease risk, policing, and a flood of outsiders who often treated their homelands as empty land waiting for fortune. The Klondike Gold Rush changed more than bank accounts. Merchants and transport companies often made steadier profits than late miners. Newspapers turned hardship into romance. Photographs of trails, camps, boats, miners, and Dawson fixed the rush in public memory. By 1899, attention began shifting toward Nome and other strikes, and many people learned that timing mattered more than courage. The easy gold had never been easy for those who arrived late, and the cost of chasing it could be hunger, debt, injury, or disappointment. That is why the Bonanza Creek discovery still matters. It shows how a small event becomes a mass movement when nature, rumor, media, law, and capital align. It also shows how the myth of empty frontier hides the people already there and the systems that make some dreams profitable while others collapse. On August 16, 1896, gold in a Yukon creek helped launch a rush. The real history is not only that people chased wealth. It is that the chase remade places, stories, governments, and lives far beyond the creek bed.